Newbie Tuesday is here once again, folks. Just kidding, it's the weekend, but you know, whatever. Newbie Tuesday is every day. A lot of demand for these replays, so I'm going to keep them going here while we take a look around the map. So, in the southern position here, we have the Terror Commander, keesdoelloos. Keesdoelloos. I'm going to call him Kees. That sounds pretty cool. So we've got Kees down here in the south as a Terror Commander doing his thing. And in the north, we have our friend Alekspaleks. 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 I don't know. Alekspaleks sounds kind of fun, but I'll just call him Alex because that's nice and easy to do. And as you all know, my poor American brain has trouble with all these random words. So, but that's all good. So, let's take a look at what we've got here. So he is an airborne commander. He's doing his thing. And we'll take a look at his commander abilities right away just to see what he's got going on here. So air dropped, supply drops. I think that's such a redundant name. Air dropped smoke, air reconnaissance, airborne power drop, and strafing run. I like all that. Those are all good, provided you use them in a way that works with your, you know, your particular playstyle and that sort of thing. So, advanced defense engineers moving out right away to cap that, and the engineers moving out to cap this, and no problem there. The one thing I would criticize right away is I don't like this really far back barracks. I just think it's always better to build like way up here, or you know, have some structural benefit to it. You know, build it here, kind of plug in this hole, or here, guarding in between these two bunkers. You know, that sort of thing. But you know, minor things. It does help with resupply though in the long run. And on the south side, we'll take a look here, and we'll see that Kees does have the base upgrade that allows him to have MG42 gunners on each building. And he's kind of stabbed outwards, left and right, just kind of in a typical fashion here. Two Pioneers here on the right-hand side, capping all of this. One group of Pioneers just kind of moving left. We'll see the Pioneers have rifles, and they've got 16% more hit points. And very first Rifleman squad out for Alex. So, stuff is looking okay here. A little bit of early fire exchange going on while trying to cap this fuel point. This fuel point is always in high demand, so I often see players go out of their way to try and make sure they cap this right away. But, you know, it's looking okay. Just kind of a little bit of light firing going on, not too much else out there. Moving right along here, we'll see that, oh, we've got close combat Volksgrenadiers. So that was why it looked like Kees was so slow to get any sort of units out there. He opted to go close combat first, and it looks like he has had time to go ahead and level his close combat Volksgrenadiers all the way up, and that's looking pretty nice. So it's worth noting, by the way, that in general with your commander levels and stuff, these guys are high level. But they're not necessarily high skill level. You get experience for losing games, and just as you get experience for losing units in the game. So it's, you know, it's fine if you know, if people have high levels and that sort of thing. It all works out in the long run. So Riflemen moving out here on the left-hand side, and we've got pretty much just Riflemen versus. This is our first major battle here, and right away, Alex needs to recognize that close combat Volks are nothing you want to mess with and get out of there. And we see that for the most part he's doing that, but he's doing it kind of a little slowly. You really need to keep your distance from close combat Volks. Absolutely never, ever do you want to just kind of stand here and fight them like that. And just really taking a beating here on the right-hand side. Retreat. Absolutely retreat. Whenever you get somebody down to one unit, retreat. Whenever you're getting shot to death by close combat folks, retreat. So big problems here. So very first thing to learn, this is not StarCraft, and I've said this a million times before, and I know, I'm sure these players are aware of this. It's just there's a lot going on, and it's hard to keep track of all your units at the same time. But absolutely keep your finger on that T key. T key. Always have the units that you want selected, and remember that you can select groups of units and tab in between them and just retreat the ones who really need to be retreated. There are no big groups of units on the field right now, but I can make a quick group here just by connecting these guys together. So if one of them gets wounded, and they're getting into a building right as I start doing that, oh well. If one of them gets wounded, you can always tab back and forth between your two groups and just hit T and retreat in one of them. Just make sure you don't have the whole group selected if you don't want to retreat everybody. Anyhow, weapons utility riflemen out here. And engineers. So that was a huge loss early game. Most allied build orders begin with riflemen and riflemen and riflemen and riflemen. Losing an entire squad of riflemen to a bunch of Volksgrenadiers who don't even take a single casualty. Huge loss there. So it does look like Kees is going to go ahead and cap all of this sort of stuff, and looking pretty good for him. So I do like where this is going for Kees, and I'm a little bit worried for Alekspaleks because I don't know that I don't know that he's going to be able to recover from that too quickly. So continuing to make riflemen, though, no problem. Once again, oh, we got the bar upgrades coming now. Once again, having this forward barracks makes it so much easier for your reinforcements to get back and forth. And when you retreat your riflemen will retreat all the way in front of your base. You can select them, hit R to start reinforcing them, and then move them back out to the front of your barracks, because not only can you reinforce from your house, you can also reinforce from your barracks. So having your barracks up front means your guys can sit and wait here while they get reinforced, so that they're a little bit closer to the front lines when they're ready. Anyhow, weapons utility riflemen are out here right now. They can throw grenade. They just kind of have all the little special weapons, grenades, satchel charges, that sort of stuff, all for varying munitions costs. Pretty cool early game guy to get out there, mostly just for their grenades, but every now and then you huck a satchel charge into a building, kind of like that. Yes, with the 5-second timer, that is definitely a satchel charge. However, it is kind of hard to fool anybody with that. Look at the damage, though. Kaboom! Huge hole blown out of the side of that building there. But congrats to Kees for correctly identifying that situation and getting the heck away from there. You definitely do not want to be sitting indoors with a satchel charge, but it's always good to know your hero units and know what to expect. Super long timer on that definitely means satchel charge. So he quickly escaped from the building. Nothing preventing him from going back in there right now, but for the time being, it looks like he's got good central control. We'll see just the one Wehrmacht quarter is still up, and he even has a sniper. Just a regular old sniper who's putting a little bit of pressure on this building here. It looked like Alekspaleks saw that sniper and is now moving out, but really kind of a bad tactical move here. I know he's eager to go ahead and charge this sniper, but there's no reason. There we go, good old retreat going off there. I always get worried when watching kind of newbie replays when people don't retreat at all. You know, I do believe that you can learn something from games, but it's always difficult picking newbie games that work really well for a Newbie Tuesday, because if the people are too experienced, then it's not a newbie game, and if they're too newbie, it's really not a helpful game to watch. You know, there's just too many basic things that need to get fixed. You know, like if you build, you know, 2 barracks in your base right off the bat or something like that, it's just, you know, we're kind of starting here. So, first major criticism now. I've had a couple of little ones here, but this kind of stuff. Really got to get away from this if you're going to, you know, try and go for the constant pressure, kind of constant attacking that you'll see in high-level games. We'll see that he is controlling a couple of different units here in the front, and that sort of stuff looks good. Looks like he even picked up a Browning automatic rifle on his flamethrower guy, so that looks pretty cool there. No, I'm just kidding. That's a rifle. That's just a regular rifle. Anyhow, putting some fire down here and taking horrendous losses once again to these close combat folks. Thankfully, the flamethrower engineers back him up. Please retreat your close combat folks. Oh my god, he doesn't make it, and the close combat folks die, and now everybody else here is burning up. But look back here and keep an eye on this. That is a real problem. You want to select all of your units when they're back there, tab, and tab between each one of them, and hit R to reinforce them. And once they get done, basically, whichever one doesn't have enough, like say this 3 was actually a rifleman, shift-click him out of there, tab to select the whole group, and issue orders to just that whole group. Definitely don't wait for the entire blob to be done, and don't leave anybody behind, because these guys are ready to go also, and they're just sitting around here. These guys, thankfully, are reinforcing, but one of the hardest things to remember is, while you're fighting, think back to your base and what needs to be going on there. And it's a lot less important in this game than it is in a game like StarCraft, but StarCraft players quickly realize that managing their base and managing what they're building and managing their reinforcements is more important than some of the fighting at times. And rather than trying to find time to build stuff while they're fighting, they try to find time to watch the battle while they're building stuff. And it's a different you know, mentality. Again, that doesn't carry over so much because the macro base control kind of stuff. I'm not sure why this retreat's going on here. He could have definitely done a little bit of damage. Single Pioneer certainly left to die here is going to be able to decap that point, but he's going to have some real trouble here. Anyhow, again, all this stuff in the base, constantly be reinforcing it. This is all downtime, and you know, I think if any player thinks that they have a hard time with reinforcements and stuff, watch your own replays and just look at stuff like this. Like, I know your eye wants to be drawn down here to where the action is, and to, you know, when you're watching your own replays, you want to look at all the aggressive stuff you were doing, but really just take a look back here and look at all the downtime you've got between doing stuff. And likewise, if you know you're in your base doing stuff, like right now he's busy figuring out, okay, I want these guys on the machine gun, and I want, you know, keep an eye up here and see if there were hotkeys, or if there were, you know, queued up orders you could be doing, or if you have guys guys just standing around, that sort of thing. So looks like he's doing a pretty good job jumping back and forth for the most part. Always remember, by the way, shift queue up thing. So click on your fuel, hold down the shift button, and then click on this, for instance, or click over here, or just make a little connected path of queued up order set. They can do a lot of stuff without you having to watch them. So anyhow, nice little firefight going on here. You know, it's kind of hard to tell if he's going to win or not. I think it's okay to back away at this point. He knows there's a sniper around here. He's already been sniped once. There are Volksgrenadiers on both sides. Close combat here, and the normal MP40 guys here. You'll notice they have ability munitions cost reduced by a little bit. That's not bad. There's the poor Pioneer that I was afraid was left for dead. We do have the heavy machine gun team moving out over here. And again, these guys just kind of hanging out here, not doing anything. So always kind of look back at your base. And I'm focusing on Alex a whole lot here, but I bet his opponent is doing the same thing more or less. His opponent looks like he's skipping tech all the way up to a Panzer Command. A very ambitious take there, considering that he's got looks like basically 1 fuel point under his control right now, a 1-5 fuel point. So a little bit of smoke dropping going on here, but if you're spending all of your fuel on that sort of stuff, that's not a good idea. You're not going to be able to use your Panzer Command too early there. But surely he's rushing for some sort of an early unit, and he just wants to go ahead and get it and hold the thing off here. So, you know, I'm not going to fault him too much for that. That's definitely can be an okay strategy. So snipers moving around here, and let's go ahead and switch to Kees, because I've been picking on Alex a lot here, and I want to look around and just kind of see what everybody else is doing. So again, kind of like I feared, he's only got 10 fuel coming in per minute, and really that's going to be a long time before he gets to build anything. But at the same time, you know, he'll have something at some point that it will be relatively fast. But always keep in mind your fuel needs and that sort of thing. Oh, we got single grenades going off here. Lots of good shooting going on over here. Heavy machine gun team. You know, he's kind of out in the open here, but combined with the sniper and all of these close combat folks, this is a kind of vicious attack on this side of the map here. So I definitely like this sort of stuff. We'll see. Again, just keep thinking in your head. Always go back to your home base and see if you have anything to do. If you're looking for good hotkeys for that sort of stuff, it turns out that they already provide you hotkeys for all of your buildings. It's F1 through F5 or whatever.